My goodness, I am so sorry that I am so late. I think I just barely squeaked in, actually. I apologize for being 10 minutes late. I think 10 minutes is the cutoff time, too, so I just barely made it. But hey, friend, um, I apologize for being late. My first time back doing a live stream, but just some stuff happened today. So, that's why I'm not on camera either. I had to scramble to get everything that I was doing done and to get here, not even on time. So, again, this is the last time I'm going to apologize, but I am sorry for that. So, hopefully some people show up live even though I was late so that I know that I'm being heard okay. Um, and I'm just going to be really honest. I'm not sure how this channel is going to look going forward because I've been doing a lot of thinking about just changing the way I'm doing things because straight up, I continue to make things way harder on myself than they have to be, but I'm trying to stop that now. So stay tuned for updates. I will still at least upload something here at least once a week, be it a masterclass, channeled message, meditation, activation, or something else. But I've really just got to get out of my own way here. So stay tuned for more details on that. But enough about that. I'm Elle, and I'm your friendly neighborhood self mastery and mindful manifestation mentor. Mentor. I am running out of breath. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, whether you're here live or catching a replay. In the next 30-ish minutes or so, you're going to learn the 8 learning styles, which ones resonate with you the most, and what manifestation techniques work best for each learning style. So be sure to stick around to the end to learn everything you need to know to make mindful manifestation more natural to you so that you can mindfully manifest everything you want quickly and effortlessly. But before we jump in, here's my quick little disclaimer. I'm always teaching from my current level of understanding, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because you may have a different understanding than I do. And another little disclaimer for today specifically is that I'm always going to recommend that you work on manifesting your empowered self concept first, but you do you. You can use any of the techniques um, that I'm about to share with you for manifesting anything that you want. And no, you don't have to use them all. I highly recommend using the ones that come most naturally to you based on your learning style as well as what you actually like doing, because manifesting is supposed to be fun. So if you're not having fun with it, you're probably delaying or even blocking your manifestations. Also, please be sure to like this video to get it in front of more people who might benefit from it, or even go ahead and share it if that's something you would like to do, because that is super helpful. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet so that you know when I go live and upload new videos. And now let's dive in. I'm going to hop back over just to make sure no comments are coming in. All right. So these are the 8 learning styles, and I will give you brief explanations for each one in a minute so that you can determine which are your most dominant if you don't already know. So we've got auditory and musical learners, linguistic and verbal learners, kinesthetic and physical learners, visual and spatial learners, logical and mathematical learners, social and interpersonal learners, solitary and intrapersonal learners, and naturalistic learners. So you probably have a combination of dominant learning styles like I do. So let's talk a little bit about each one now to help you determine yours. Again, if you don't already know, but if you do know yours, please go ahead and drop that or them in the chat or comments now if you don't mind sharing, because I like to learn about you as well. And we're going to start with auditory and musical learners. And this is one of my most dominant learning styles. So we like to hear solutions and examples explained out loud to help us grasp concepts more fully. And we're able to work through complex problems by talking them out. We usually gravitate toward music and group learning as a way to process information, except I'm more of a solitary learner personally, but I do like to tell someone else about the things I'm learning to help me absorb them faster. We tend to associate certain music with various emotions and memories and have a good sense of pitch and or rhythm. We also enjoy learning to music in the background or working with music going on in the background. That's one of my favorite things. And as a general rule, we are skilled at oral presentations and public speaking. You may not be able to tell that about me today because I'm a little bit flustered, but as a general rule, we do tend to excel at those things. And next we have linguistic and verbal learners. So again, this is another one of mine. And those of us with this learning style learn best through the words that we see and hear. We also love and excel in both written and spoken language. So, like the auditory learner, we like reading content out loud or having someone explain it verbally so we can process it better. Linguistic learners flourish in reading and writing activities, asking questions. We're like really, really good at asking good questions, and we tend to be very verbally expressive. We're often gifted at learning new languages and have large vocabularies because we genuinely enjoy learning new words. We also tend to dislike silence and enjoy participating in study groups. Again, not me so much with the group studying, but I do think there's an overlap with auditory, linguistic, and social learners in general. And next we have kinesthetic and physical learners, people with this learning style, and yet again, I am one of them that leans pretty heavily into this particular style. So people with this learning style are very hands-on learners who prefer to physically engage with the materials of the subject matter and learn best by actually doing. We generally have, we enjoy activities such as jigsaw puzzles and making models, things like that. We also have high levels of energy, tend to be very animated, and are likely to be excellent at interpreting gestures. We also notice and appreciate the physical world, such as textures and patterns. Our deep appreciation for exploration means we don't mind getting our hands dirty to gain some knowledge or learn a new skill. So, those of us with this learning style tend to possess exceptional motor memory and can often duplicate something after just doing it like one time. Because of this, we also excel in things like art and drama and probably enjoy sports and or exercise along with outdoor activities. So for me, I'm not really into any kind of sports, but I do enjoy moving my body. I definitely like to do things outside. So that is a little bit about the kinesthetic and physical learner. Next, we have visual and spatial learners, and this one is actually not me at all. So, visual and spatial learners enjoy diagrams, drawing out concepts, charts, and processes. They prefer pictures and images and mind maps to help them process information. And they learn best by looking at visual concepts, creating them, and watching other people create them as well. They have incredible spatial awareness and senses of direction, and can easily visualize objects, plans, and outcomes. They're often very creative and or artistic and have what is considered a good eye. They also excel at using maps and rarely get lost. So, pretty much none of that describes me. I'm kind of the opposite of that. And then we have logical and mathematical learners. So I'm about 50-50 on this one. Definitely logical, but not so much with the mathing. But not surprisingly, those with this learning style are good with numbers, pattern recognition, grouping and classification, and deducing the relationship between numbers. They tend to enjoy strategy games and brain teasers and are adept at performing complex calculations. They also excel at planning agendas and itineraries and creating procedures for future use after coming up with a solution to a problem. They usually like to classify and group information together to better understand it, and they find a statistical study more appealing than analyzing literature or keeping a journal, for instance. Additionally, they have a deep desire to understand the reasons behind everything. And this is something that I can definitely relate to in this learning style. All right, looks like we're doing okay. Hopefully, I'm audible because I don't see anybody live right now, and it's probably because I was late. Next, we have social and interpersonal learners. Again, this one's not me. I'm kind of a loner, even though I do obviously love a good collab. But anyway, this is not about me. This is about people who actually are social and interpersonal learners. So these learners can also be auditory, visual, kinesthetic, or any of the other learning styles or a combination, but have a strong preference toward groups and collaboration. They prefer direct involvement with others in group projects and like to do things like socialize after work or learning, and are stimulated by dialogue. So they may seek out feedback from teachers, coaches, mentors, instructors, and peers. They like to bounce ideas off of other people, work through issues in a group, and value cooperation over competition. So if they do play a sport, it's usually going to be a group sport. They may also enjoy participating in activities such as speech, drama, and debate teams. They tend to be great listeners and mediators who are often really good at resolving conflicts. So they are trusted by other people and give great advice a lot of times. And then we have solitary and intrapersonal learners, which is me. Um, so people with this learning style can also be visual, auditory, kinesthetic, linguistic, logical, naturalistic, or any combination of those. So, for example, I'm an intrapersonal learner who leans pretty heavily toward auditory, linguistic, and kinesthetic styles. Solitary learners are quite often autodidacts who are self-motivated, highly independent, introspective, and tend to be pretty private. So I taught myself how to write HTML code, CSS, and JavaScript in like the year 2000, 2001, if that tells you anything. We spend a good portion of our time on self-analysis, and we require a lot of self-reflection. We tend to struggle in large crowds and noisy rooms and are usually socially introverted, but not always, because I'm more of an ambivert. Definitely have my introvert moments and extrovert moments. So there you have it. We also have excellent self-management skills, at least partially because we like to set goals and make plans. We also tend to journal, write, and record our personal thoughts and events as a way to improve ourselves. And finally, we have naturalistic learners. So, those with this learning style learn best through careful analysis and observation, and they seldom take anything at face value. They will often go the extra mile to experiment with newly mastered concepts, and they like to immediately apply new skills in real life after grasping the theoretical aspects of a topic. So, that's something I can relate with. These types of learners categorize and catalog information easily, enjoy exploring outdoors, notice even subtle changes in their environment, and often dislike learning unfamiliar topics with no connection to nature. So, which of these learning styles resonates most with you? Let me know in the chat or the comments, because again, I would love to learn more about you. And I'm just going to take a quick look. All right, looks like we are doing well on time. All right, so now we're going to take a look at each of the learning styles and their corresponding manifestation techniques. And a couple of them, there aren't really techniques associated, but I do give some tips. So we're going to start with auditory manifestation techniques. So affirmations are not a technique. Affirmations are like, you literally need to think of every thought that you think as an affirmation, okay? So affirmations themselves are not a technique, but there are ways of doing your affirmations that are techniques that will be best for certain learning styles. So I hope that makes sense. So one of those for an auditory or musical learner would be speaking your affirmations out loud, doing a rampage. And that's where you just like rapid fire, like, I'm the best coach in the world. All of my clients get amazing results super fast, and people love working with me, and they have no problem investing in full, and they're so excited to get the great results that they get. And I help them transform their lives, and, just go on and on until you feel like a change, like a shift. So hearing yourself say your affirmations out loud, and especially in like a rampage style, is really going to be helpful. Recording them in your own voice and listening to them on a loop when you're on autopilot. So that's like when you're taking a shower or doing dishes, cleaning your house, walking your dog, at the gym, just anything like that. And you can also use them. You can turn the volume way down on your actual voice and put music over them and use them as a subliminal as you're falling asleep and while you're asleep. And subliminals, honestly, this could be for any learning style. Subliminals are an excellent way to speed up the rewiring of your brain because you are bypassing your conscious mind and getting directly to the subconscious by using them. So, that is definitely one that you can use no matter what your learning style is. But I did put it in here because it kind of goes along with recording your affirmations and listening to them, right? Inner conversation is another really great technique for the auditory learner. And that's basically just you imagining having a conversation with someone close to you, your best friend, your kid, your spouse, your partner, your cat, whatever. Actually, it should probably be somebody who can converse back with you. So, but just imagine yourself telling this person about your manifestation and how it came, how it materialized in your life and how excited you are, and hear them excited for you and asking questions about it, and just imagine having a conversation. That's literally all there is to it. The eavesdropping technique is similar to inner conversation, but in this one, you're imagining listening to two people that care about you talk about how amazing you are, how your manifestation materialized, how well you're doing, how proud they are of you. So these are really good techniques for those who are more auditory. And just a little bonus technique, listening to specific music that makes you feel the way that you'll feel when your manifestation arrives is very, very helpful, because you do want to get your feelings involved as much as possible with any of these techniques. So if you've got a favorite song or a favorite genre or a song that is literally about the thing that you are manifesting, add that in with your techniques. Oh, I see. Oh, it's okay. I was late too, Jenny. No worries. Can you hear me okay? Let me know, because I've been going for a good 20 odd minutes without anybody here, but it's all good. You can go back and hear my frenzied beginning if you like. I'm not on camera today because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off or whatever. So anyway, moving right along, here are the techniques that you can use as a linguistic or verbal learner. So again, affirmations, not a technique in and of themselves, but writing them over and over again, that's definitely a technique. And it's definitely a really good one if you are a linguistic and verbal learner. Journaling is another really good technique. Scripting, writing scenes from the end. I also like to add reading any of these things out loud afterward, because that is another part with this learning style, like auditory learning. And that'll just help you absorb it more. And there's just something really powerful about getting your voice involved, the vibration of your vocal cords, and really all of that. But you don't have to do it if you don't want to. That's just kind of another added bonus. And if you would like me to do a whole video on specific journaling and scripting techniques, like the 369 method, 5x55 technique, I am certain journaling, gratitude journaling, all of that kind of stuff, let me know in the chat or the comments, and I will add that to my list of videos that I'm going to make in the very near future. Oh, good. I'm so glad the sound is good. Awesome. All right. You're going to want to go back and listen to the beginning, because I totally run out of air and do this whole like thing. It's amazing. It's awesome. I'm kidding. Anyway, now we're going to talk about some specific methods or techniques for the kinesthetic and physical learners among us, which I am one of them. So acting as if / feeling it real / living in the end / being in the wish fulfilled, These are all different names for the same technique, basically. So the simplest way to do this is to think about what you're manifesting and actually say, it's already mine. Say it out loud. It's already mine. It's already done. It already exists and it already belongs to me. While allowing yourself to really feel, like really, really feel that, because it really is already yours, right? So, if you know anything about the quantum field and the, idea that there are literally infinite timelines available to you, there are some that are pretty much the same as the one that you're in right now with some slight variations, and there are ones that are totally different and everything in between. So that is just something to keep in mind. It is already yours. There is a timeline out there somewhere where you have the thing that you want. You're living the exact life that you want to live. It is already yours. So just keep reminding yourself of that and allow yourself to really feel the feelings of already having that thing. And it's not just about emotion necessarily. Emotions are important, but physical sensations as well. Another technique and I didn't put it on the slide, but this will be easy to remember. For kinesthetic learners, if you're also visual, I am not, but if you are, do some visualization, but bring in as many of your other senses as possible. So let's say you're trying to manifest a new home. See yourself in that home. Run your hand along the counter in the kitchen. Smell what does it smell like in your new home? What does the backyard look like? What kind of furniture are you going to have in it? Imagine yourself sitting on the couch and making contact with the back of it, with your back, and just, bring as many of your senses into this imagining as possible. And then this one is actually a new one on me. I've not tried it, but I do charge my water and bless like everything that I eat and drink, basically. So the 2-cup method is just basically you're going to get 2 cups and you're going to fill one with water. You're going to label the cup with water your current circumstance or present reality, right? And the empty cup is going to be your dream circumstance or your future reality or your optimal reality, whatever you want to call it. You're going to hold the cup with your current circumstance and the water in it, and you're going to allow yourself to feel and release your feelings about your current circumstance. Okay. So you're just going to think about it. You're going to allow those feelings, even if they're negative, to wash over you. You're going to feel them. You're going to give yourself compassion for them, and then you're going to release them. Okay. Next, you're going to charge the water by speaking gratitude about what you're manifesting over it, right? But in the present tense. So, for example, you could say something like, I'm so happy and grateful for my new home, and really, really feel it. Think about all the things about it that you're happy and grateful for, and just allow yourself to then feel those emotions. Let that wash over you. Then I want you to slowly pour the water from your present reality into your future reality or circumstance or optimal reality, whatever you're calling it, and really imagine your new reality being created as you're doing that. And then finally, fill yourself with the feelings of gratitude and happiness, joy, anything else super positive that you can conjure within you about your new reality or circumstance, and drink the water. And that is the 2-cup method. So I'm going to take a quick look Oh, you want the scripting video? Okay, awesome. I will do that. I will put that on the list. So I think I'm going to start doing like classes on Discord as well, but that's something that we'll talk about later. So visual manifestation techniques are pretty simple. Visualization and vision boards, baby. So I don't feel like these need too much of an explanation. I almost said exclamation, either way. Visualizing is just that, like daydream about what you are manifesting, daydream about your optimal reality, daydream about who you are in that reality. Allow yourself to really visualize everything that you're trying to experience with this particular manifestation. And again, just like with kinesthetic learning, bring as many of your other senses into your visualization as possible, because the more you do that, the more real it becomes. And the more real it becomes, the faster it manifests. So definitely incorporate your other senses in your visualizations. And then, of course, vision boards are a really amazing way to keep your goals front of mind and to remind yourself of what you're working toward, and of course to imprint them in your subconscious if you're a very visual person. And next we have logical and mathematical learners. So you'll notice it does not say technique, because this is not really a manifestation technique. But if you are really logic driven, like I am, understanding the science as much as possible can be really helpful. But also understanding that science can't explain everything yet. So it's really important to remember that. But go ahead and look up information and videos on the actual science of manifestation, which I actually have a video on that on this channel. So you can check that out if you have not yet. And learn about things like the quantum field, law of assumption, law of attraction, and anything else that helps your conscious mind get on board, like the reticular activating system, you know, how it actually works to reprogram your thoughts, all of those things. That's going to help your conscious mind get on board. And next we have social and interpersonal learners. So again, we don't really have techniques that are specific to this type of learning style, but guaranteed you have other learning styles that you can use the techniques for. This one is, I want you to like go get you some manifestation buddies, right? Join some groups. There are a ton of them on Facebook. Join my Discord server. I'm going to start breathing some life in there very soon. My life has been a little bit crazy lately. So the community is not going as strong as I would like, but I'm going to be in there a lot more often, doing like live podcasts and classes and all kinds of stuff. So just find some people that understand manifestation and are on their own journey with it, who are also social and interpersonal learners, and just kind of buddy up with them. Send each other really like motivational texts and affirmations and things like that. So I guess that's a little bit of a technique, right? And next we have some solitary manifestation techniques, which are pretty much the same as with the verbal and linguistic techniques. So, and again, if you're a solitary learner, you probably have other learning styles as well, like auditory, visual, kinesthetic, whatever. So you can use those techniques as well. But journaling, scripting, writing scenes from the end, and you might want to keep your manifestations to yourself until they materialize if you are a solitary learner. You might want to do that regardless of what kind of learner you are, to be really honest, just kind of depending on the people that you have in your life. I would recommend keeping them to yourself if you've got a lot of naysayers in your life that might try to, like, rain on your parade or talk you out of them. So that's not going to be just if you're solitary, but it's definitely a good idea if you are a more solitary and intrapersonal learner. So I hope that makes sense. And then finally, we've got an extra little bullet point there. Because I forgot to add something, but that's okay. We're just going to roll with it. So you're going to want to spend time in nature. You need to be grounded, meditate outside, go hug a tree. I know that sounds silly, but seriously, go hug a tree. Trees have amazing energy. Do spell work. I know it's like witchy and whatnot, but like, if it helps you to add some plants and herbs and doing things outdoors to actually manifest what you want, totally do that. It's a really, really good way to, bring in something that you really enjoy and has some symbolism, right? You don't have to, because you can manifest things out of thin air if you have no resistance to it. But if it helps you, then I say do it. I like to do certain rituals, moon rituals, things like that. So definitely give that a try. And then I meant to add some of the kinesthetic techniques to this slide, and then I didn't. So I apologize for that. But that's just the acting as if, feeling it real, living in the end, being in the wish fulfilled. Those are all the same thing. And the 2-cup method. I think that those would also work really well for naturalistic learners because of how hands-on they like to be as well. So do you have a favorite technique or two that we just went over? Please go ahead and drop that in the chat if you're on live, or the comments, along with any questions you may have, especially if you're live, so I can answer them before I end the stream. And if you're still watching and you enjoyed this but haven't liked the video yet, please don't forget to do that, because I really appreciate the algorithm boost and it will help others find the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and ring the little bell so you never miss a live stream or an upload. And while I wait for any live questions to roll in, I just want to quickly let you know that if you want my guidance and support with learning everything you need to know to consciously create your optimal reality for the rest of your life, I have some one-to-one Voxer support spots available for November, some email coaching spots available right now if you prefer that, and I'm opening a couple of intensive one-to-one spots for 3 or 6 months starting in the middle of next month. So you can, I'm not sure if the links are there yet. They may not be, but if they're not, I will put them in as soon as I end the session. So you will be able to find links for all of that in the description box. And if you claim your Voxer spot by Thursday afternoon, so October 13th, you'll get a complimentary bonus one-to-one belief breakthrough session to kick off our time together, which will give you a huge jumpstart in identifying, dismantling, and rewriting your false limiting beliefs with my full guidance on Zoom. So holler at me if you've got any questions about working with me in any capacity. And you can find my contact info on the screen, and that will also be in the description box below. So are there any questions before I hop off? It does not look like it. Jenny was the only one who made it live today. So I apologize for being late. I said I wasn't going to apologize again, but I apologize. Not that it matters to pretty much anyone, because Jenny was late too, so probably didn't even realize I was late. And if you're watching this replay, you don't know that I was late, except that I keep talking about it. So, oh, can't wait to hear the first part. Yeah, just wait till you hear me gasping for air. It's good times. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, yeah, the first part of the video is just going to tell you like all about each of the learning styles so that you can figure out which one you are if you don't already know, or which ones you are, like whatever your combination is. And yeah, give me a holler if you've got any questions. If you're watching the replay and you've got questions, please feel free to comment and I will come back and answer them. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Transformation Tuesday. Much love.